Just ahead on American Black Journal, we'll kick off Black History Month with a guest who made history as the first African-American woman to win the Miss USA title. Detroiter Carole Gist joins me to talk about that historic moment 25 years ago. Plus, calling all student artists, McDonald's wants to recognize your skills in a Black History Month contest. We have a great program coming up. Stay right there.
At DTE Energy, we believe that we have a greater responsibility. We believe that being part of a community means being involved in the fabric of that community, investing time, effort, and resources in the communities we serve. DTE Energy Foundation is a proud sponsor of American Black Journal.
Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. As we celebrate Black History Month, American Black Journal is committed to highlighting individuals who are living examples of the great achievements made by African Americans. Today we start with a woman who made history as the first Black Miss USA. Detroit native Carole Gist captured the title 25 years ago in Wichita, Kansas. At the time, she was a 20-year-old marketing and management student at Northwood University in Midland, Michigan. Carole also made history that night as the first Michigan contestant to win the pageant. Later that year, she came very close to another milestone when she finished as the first runner-up in the Miss Universe pageant. I'm pleased to have Carole Gist here today on American Black Journal. Welcome to the program. And congratulations again, right? I mean, even 25 years later, that's an incredible feat to have achieved. Tell me about the moment when you were standing on stage and they said, the Miss USA for this this year is Carole Gist.
Michigan,
yeah.
Right. Well, it was a very momentous it was an amazing moment, and words really can't capture.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But the picture that went across the press, pretty much with my hands uplifted.
Right.
I was trying to praise God, and they got in the way trying to put a sash in the crowd.
Right, I was going to say, right?
But I was just so grateful, so thankful, so humbled, and it was just amazing. And if all those people were there, I know there was a lot of people in the audience, and was a lot of people watching from around the world, but in that moment, I really felt like God put this whole production on
right.
just to show me how much he loved me.
Right. What a wonderful way to think of it.
And it was just really, it was awesome.
Yeah. So how did you, as a kid, I mean, you grew up here in Detroit. How did you get involved with pageants and then get to that level?
Well, my mom being very wise and trying to help me with my height issues. I had been tall all my life.
Right.
I wanted to get me involved.
See, you say height issues. Some people say that's a blessing,
well,
not a curse.
I was a target for teasing. And
because you were taller than
I was always tall. Until the 10th grade, I was the tallest one in my class.
Is that right?
From kindergarten to 10th grade.
Wow.
So it was, I was a target. I was teased, but that was okay. The very first time I got a check for being tall,
you were like,
I was like, hey, I'm okay with that.
With this, right?
So she got me involved in modeling, and I had modeled even through college, having a scholarship. I still did modeling on the side for additional income, and one of my friends who was a model encouraged me to enter in Miss Michigan. And I did it literally to stop her asking me. And so kind of, nonchalantly went forward. When I won, to my surprise, I said, oh, must get serious. We can do this thing.
So that was the first, this was the first pageant you had been in?
On this caliber.
Okay.
I had done local talent pageant competitions. The Miss Black World was considered a talent competition, and also Miss Michigan United.
Okay.
So those were some local ones that I had that didn't go to a national platform.
Okay.
They just stayed pretty much local. But again, it had earned me a few dollars to go toward paying for college, paying for college.
Right.
So this was the first one, and I thought because it went to Miss USA, that Miss Michigan, as I'm thinking, finally, I'm going to hush her up. I'm going to apply. Maybe I'll make top 5 and win a few extra dollars, again, to help pay for college.
Right.
And when I won, I said, okay, let's get serious. Let's get focused. I can do this.
Yeah.
Even though there hadn't been a woman of color to do it, I just was like, okay, let's go.
And that never occurred to you that was a barrier?
Not initially, until I was going to different companies and businesses asking for sponsorship.
For sponsorship, sure, sure.
Yes.
And what was
funny looks.
yeah? What was the reaction? I mean, did anyone just come out and say,
No,
a black
not so
person
much.
can't win that?
Not so much, not directly, but
indirectly.
in
that
an
was,
indirect way.
yeah.
That's a guy. I did get a lot of that, but the Black Business Association and different churches and family and different people pulled together to help send me to Miss USA.
Yeah, yeah. And you were a college student at the time. Did you feel like this was something that was separate from what you were studying and wanted to do, or did it dovetail?
It just dovetailed because that had athletics and and modeling had been tandem for almost all my life. I was working hard to finish up my bachelor's in 3 years. I already had 2 associate degrees, and I wanted to complete my education and move to the next level. And at the time, I was really wanting to be the first in another industry, which was the hotel industry. I wanted to be the first African-American female general manager of a Ritz-Carlton property.
That's a very specific goal.
Very specific. But even in, Northwood being known for its business and even automotive,
right.
There hadn't been a lot of black female dealership owners in the GM line,
Sure.
Cadillac and Buick. And so I did a research paper about different women first, African American first in that industry, and I wanted to be the first in the Cadillac because there hadn't been one for Cadillac.
I
so
see.
It was like maybe it was just something in me. I wanted to be the first at something.
At something, right? right. And it's hard. I think it's probably hard for people. 25 years ago, it's not that long ago,
Right.
but it's long enough ago that this was really anomalous. I mean, the things that you're talking about, the barriers that still existed, and the things that had not yet been achieved, they were everywhere at that point.
And I guess maybe being at Cass, I went to Cass Tech High School, and just being in Detroit in the area, I was used to a different type of attitude. So coming outside of that bubble and actually being exposed to people who really had a problem
Right.
with my color. It was a little.
That's sort of a shock, right?
It was a little shock because
Yeah.
even going to Northwood, I never encountered, and I think Midland was pretty homogenized.
Yeah, right. I was going to say, Midland is not diverse at all.
It was not a very diverse area, but I never was made to feel even going there that I was less than.
Or that you couldn't achieve.
That I couldn't achieve.
Yeah.
And so when I, just going forward, I didn't have that in the back of my mind. I just wanted to be the best me I could be.
Yeah.
Offer the world the best me. There's no regrets.
Right, right. And so you win the pageant. You almost win Miss Universe.
100th of a point.
Oh no.
100th of a point from me being Miss Universe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
so
that was
so
hard.
what does that then do for you afterward? I mean, what does it push you to?
I was just wanting to go forward with my dreams. I loved music. I loved singing, and I did various different projects. I even co-hosted a gospel video show with Carvin Winans for a while, and did some various other different projects. I continued to speak and work with women's groups and pageant coaching, and I continued doing a lot of things that I loved.
Yeah.
And I stayed true to me in the process of doing those things that I love without compromising myself. And feeling that no matter when I wake up in the morning, I want to be proud of who I am, and I don't want to do anything that would bring shame or embarrassment on my family, and not be able to walk down the street and hold my head up high.
Yeah.
And so no matter what obstacles, because I had family issues, I had, and everyone has a story.
Sure.
But the main thing that always kept me going and was my mantra in life was that someone else is out there who would gladly trade places with you for you and your problems.
That's right.
So pick yourself up, don't whine, and keep on moving.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. Wake up every day. I want to impact someone's life for the better. How can I do that today? Whether it's sharing a smile, sharing a word, or making them push beyond their own limits to achieve their next level of greatness.
Well, and that's a message that young women growing up in the city today, like you did 25 years ago, they really need that.
Yes. I want to continue to do that. And my platforms have changed. I am totally, I started off automotive and hotel, restaurant management, hospitality, and all of that type of stuff, but I am totally committed to the wellness and fitness of all those who can hear the sound of my voice,
Right.
whether they can make it to a class, do one of my workouts, or be under my voice at a talk,
Right.
a seminar, or a motivational talk.
And we didn't talk about that. Your fitness programs and.
Oh yeah, I'm called the
It's a big
Killer
deal.
Carole.
Killer. Well, I'm not sure that's not a reason that makes me want to sign up.
I know. I mean, or diva trainer. I mean,
Right.
either
That's
one.
maybe a little better, right?
That might be better, but then no, it's a love-hate relationship. They hate to see me coming. They love to see me going, but then they love the results.
Yeah.
Either way, I am very committed and very passionate and consider it a ministry to help people be their best selves. You know, too many times and too often, the world is robbed of people leaving here too soon or not fulfilling their full potential due to other complications, whether it's health, it's their fitness, their energy, or their drive.
Yeah.
And fitness is all connected to that. To me, it's just another aspect. You have faith in yourself, faith in higher power. I believe in God and Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. And then finding out what that purpose is, what you were born, put on this earth to do.
Right.
If you don't have the confidence to go forward with that, a lot of times you don't fulfill what you were meant to do. And you end up, you might live a contented life, but is it the best life?
It won't necessarily be fulfilled, right?
Right. And then if you have weight or health problems related to weight or inactivity from living a sedentary life, how can you be
Which is a big problem with
you're
kids
called
now.
to do, even when you know what it is?
Right.
So I just want to help people be their best self.
Yeah.
And give the world the gift of them, the best them.
Yeah.
Whatever color, whatever gender.
Right.
We can, together, that's how we can continue making the world better.
And whatever circumstance. I mean, you didn't necessarily come from the easiest set of life circumstances, and you made it to where you are.
Oh, yes, but God.
Right.
My faith and perseverance and never wanting to give up on myself and always knowing that there's something better. Even if it's around the corner, I'm going to keep going till I can get around that corner.
Yeah. Okay.
And I hope I can encourage others to do the same.
Well, the story's still an inspiration 25 years later, so thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Just ahead on American Black Journal, we'll have details on a Black History Art Contest for local high school students. That's next, right after this look at some important moments in Detroit's Black history.
I'm Kim Trent with a look back at African American life in Detroit. This week in 1971, Tommy Orlando and Dawn, featuring former Highland Park resident Thelma Hopkins, had the nation's #1 pop song, Knock 3 Times. In 2007, former Detroit Lion Charlie Sanders was elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And in 1968, Michigan Chronicle columnist, legendary nightclub MC, and local dance instructor Joseph Ziggy Johnson died at the age of 54. These are significant events this week in Detroit's Black history, taken from the book On This Day, African American Life in Detroit.
Detroit area McDonald's restaurant owners are celebrating Black History Month with an art contest for local high school students. The annual competition invites teens to submit original works of art that capture a significant person, event, or moment in African American history. The artwork can be in the form of paintings, drawings, jewelry, pottery, fabric, mixed media, or sculptures. That's a really wide range there. The winning students will receive cash prizes, plus their art will be featured in a month-long exhibit at the Namdi Center for Contemporary Art in Detroit. Deadlines for entries is February 28th. Here now to tell us more about the contest are McDonald's owner and operator Savarier Service, gallery owner George Namdi, and Castech art teacher Mindy Mitchell. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Welcome.
This is one of my favorite events every year. It seems like we have people on the show to talk about that, and a lot of times I'll have the students on to show the work that they've done a little later. Tell me why McDonald's is so committed to this idea.
Well, McDonald's is always committed to just doing things to further inspire young youth to expound on their desires, their talents, and because we thrive on being a part of the community and give it back to the community, we decided 3 years ago that this would be something unique, something that we could kind of own. And after that first year, it was such a wonderful success. We're now in year 3 and looking forward to doing it more and more, and just to be able to see the excitement and the joy of these kids doing what they love to do,
Sure.
and giving them an outlet to be able to display that and recognizing them for that. And so that's what we like to do.
Right.
That's our way of showing that we like to stay rooted in the community.
Yeah, yeah. And George, this gives you a chance to highlight that youth talent at your campus.
Well, we think it's very important. One, I like to always thank McDonald's for doing that. They're such a great corporate citizen in that way.
Yeah.
And we thought that we came together on this, and I said, well, let's make sure we do this in a very professional way. We frame all their work. It's displayed very professionally, and oftentimes when you come in to see the exhibit, you don't know that it's
You can't distinguish that art from the regular.
Yes. So, but we thought it'd be a good service for, like our art center has a program where we help students with their portfolios. Portfolios development. We said this is like a somewhat continuation of that type of program, but it's like just serving the community, and you see the past to see the families and the students' faces just being
Just
in
when
the
they see
it
their
right,
art on display,
see it on display, and the families have so much pride. I mean, I've had some people say, you know what? I mean, I had a kid come in the other day and says, because you told my parents it was okay for me to go and major in art in school.
Now they're open.
Yeah, right, they're open to it, and and they got a degree in it.
Yeah, right.
I said, but that's what we're trying to do, and I think this program allows us to do it, and McDonald's has done a magnificent job.
Yeah. Mindy, you're an art teacher at Cass Tech, which is a school that's lucky enough to have held on to its art program. So often what I hear from teachers and principals is that art or music, the sort of extras, or the way we think of them as extras, get put on the chopping block too quickly.
Oh, I agree with that. I've noticed a lot of the kids that come into my program, I teach jewelry, ceramic, and fiber. Many of them have had art in the second grade, and that was the last time they had art experiences, or they're in minimal or lack of.
Yeah.
But you put the kind of skills that I teach them, they you can pull it out of them, and they don't realize that they had it.
Yeah, yeah, and what I really like about art, and particularly in school, is getting kids to sort of just open up and express things that they might not be able to express otherwise, things that they're thinking or feeling that don't come across as positively in some other ways.
Well, for one of the mediums that I work with metals, there's a lot of problem-solving skills that students aren't aware of it, that will help them in career choices. Metals can go in, you can go into medical fields. You're using, the only difference is with the dentistry, for example, you're not working in someone's mouth.
Right,
So,
right.
But they start to see those problem-solving skills that you can get with that.
Yeah. So tell me about some of the favorite pieces that you've seen come through the gallery, George, since you've been doing this program.
Well, I think last year we had a great piece of Rosa Parks that was done, and we have had
a sculpture or a painting?
Painting.
Painting.
It was painting.
Okay.
But we have had the fiber work from artists that have done, I wouldn't say crocheting, but it's just a piece of fiber, where they have created this beautiful object that they have.
Yeah.
We do a jurying of the process because we get over 200 entries in this.
Yeah.
And so some of them come and they have some detail, the detail that you can pull out of these children that we find that's why people come in and see the exhibit and they say, this is unbelievable. This is just unbelievable that this is kids.
Right.
It's done that, So I'm not the person who do my favorite here, favorite there.
Right. You don't want to favor anybody or
I like them all,
disparage anybody.
But like your children, you like them all. So, but I like the energy that they have. They come back. You know, I mean, I have them come up to me later on, a couple years later, and say, I was in that contest.
Yeah.
You know, I was there. I think last night I was at the Book Cadillac for a program. Someone came up to me and said they were in that program.
Yeah.
Or, you know, so that's what I like about it, because it extends. And it's like not only for the students, but it impacts the families.
Yeah.
And that's really, to me, what it happened, where it has that significance. Because when you impact the family, you know the student now has a support system for this.
Right.
And you know, and I just think that art is just so important to our lives and our
Exposure.
the betterment. Yeah.
Exposure.
Right.
Yeah. So how can students participate in the contest?
So I believe that they have to take a photo of their artwork.
Okay.
And then they can upload it to a website. And the website is what, Black, I almost forget it.
Well, we'll get that. We'll put that on our website. How about that?
BlackMomentsOnCampus.com.
Okay.
And so, and from that, they will select 50 finalists, semi-finalists, and then narrow it down to 12. And then this year, for the first time, we're expanding the number of winners. We're going to do 6 more honorable mentions so that we can acknowledge more. So it'll be a total of 18 this year. And there's a panel of judges, professionals in the field, and I believe there will be a McDonald's judge as well, McDonald's owner judge as well. But yeah, that's it. That's the way you get involved, and then they will be notified, you know, if they make it to the next level, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So.
And the jurying that goes on, you're looking obviously for the quality of the art, but also, I would imagine, the message here, right?
We
the
look
History
for the message. We also look for the originality of the work.
Right.
You know, we want it to be original. So sometimes you can have a painting, but the painting does not have to be the exact image of the person. It could be very abstract, but it's like, are they expressing are they putting the emotion of that person, for instance, into that piece? Into
the work.
Yes. Yeah. So we do look for originality and the message, but and how they're relating this to the history. Yeah. So that's just very important, those two aspects of it. You know, so how you're expressing this history becomes very important.
Right. How hard is that with high school age students to get them to put that emotion or put that that unique identity into their art?
I think with it's getting them to think outside the box, but also the patience of creating something.
Yeah.
And once they get past it, they are nervous about taking a piece and making it their own, putting their thumbprint on it.
Really?
So,
really? So if they're drawing a picture or painting a picture of Martin Luther King, you may think, hey, I need to make this look exactly like these photos that I've seen of him, instead of thinking, how do I think of him, and making the piece reflect that.
That's right. It's giving their own thumbprint, like I said, on what their images of Martin Luther King would be, or designs of it, and putting backgrounds and so forth on that.
Yeah.
It's color. They get into it, and there's critiques also that they have to go through in order to get to a level where it can go into a contest as well. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it hard for you to recruit students for this contest?
No, there's a lot of different contests, but when you put a monetary amount on something, the kids are eager to.
Yeah, that changes their minds, right?
Most definitely.
Yeah. When you think about the city and kids and the way they express themselves, what are some of the things that you're seeing, George? I mean, you come into contact with a lot of youth in our city.
I feel like they really are expressing themselves more. I mean, sometimes you have to let them take the lead, because we may not understand it right now, because you know that expression is just different.
Yeah.
You know, but I do think there's a lot of creativity, you know, from in all the arts. I'm specialized more in the visual arts,
Yeah.
but the music. I mean, the cast. There's a little cast quartet, that jazz quartet
Yes.
that played
Yeah,
a lot of
I've seen them around
right,
town.
yeah.
They're very
And,
good.
so there's a lot of expression of that, and a lot of a lot of them walk in and say, "Yeah, I'm a painter. I'm a poet. I'm a musician." They're owning these things now,
Yeah.
and I think it's very important because see, the arts. For me, it doesn't matter if you become an artist or a musician, whatever, but to learn something, it really helps you in any endeavor that you go into.
Yeah,
And
that's one of the things we lose is the idea that the arts help you with these other things that you might decide you want to do professionally,
Yeah,
even
music-
if that's not what you're gonna.
yeah, music and math, for
Yeah,
instance,
right.
they're
They're all related.
well, visual arts. They said visual arts and science is very connected.
Right.
They use the same process.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll look forward to seeing the winners later this year.
Okay.
Thanks for being here.
All right. Thank you.
That's our program for today. Thanks for watching. You can get more information about our guests at AmericanBlackJournal.org. And as always, you can connect with us on Facebook and on Twitter. Plus, you can now hear episodes of American Black Journal on WDET 1019 FM. We'll see you next time.
At DTE Energy, we believe that we have a greater responsibility. We believe that being part of a community means being involved in the fabric of that community, investing time, effort, and resources in the communities we serve. DTE Energy Foundation is a proud sponsor of American Black Journal.